Hey guys, what's up? WarPigmtg here, and holy crap, there's a young wolf getting pillar of flamed. This is a game cast from a game of Standard Magic the Gathering that was played in the Return to Ravnica game day a couple of weeks back. On the right, we have Stanley, my little brother. You could see him throwing his face into the shot a little bit earlier, playing in Mayor of Avabrook, and reading that Goblin Electromancer. He's playing mono green, if I haven't already mentioned that. And on the left, we do have my good friend Eric playing Standard Storm. Neither of these decks are at all in the metagame, but what makes the free game days so awesome is that you get to see these cool archetypes being played. So Stanley's going to cast Nightshade Peddler. He's going to read it first, see what it does. I built this deck for him. This is his first Standard game ever played. Not game, Standard tournament ever played. So I came to the conclusion mid-tournament that he takes a lot longer than most people to take his turns because he's very new to the game. But he does have a good understanding and comprehension of the overall rules. So he's going to bond the two creatures that he has over there, pass the turn to Eric. And the way Eric's Standard Storm deck works, as he's throwing down the Gutter Snipe, is that he basically plays a bunch of effects that give him mana for his creatures, battle hymns, and then he plays Past in Flames, and then just starts flashing stuff back with his Gutter Snipe, and wins with a lot of mana floating around. So he's going to play a mana, read a card, show it to his enemy, and prey upon. He's going to kill the Gutter Snipe and the Nightshade Peddler. So in my channel right now I do have a few contests. Make sure you look at that. They are ending pretty soon, so please subscribe and comment on the appropriate videos and you will be entered. And a link to those videos will be in the description and telling you how to enter that. So Eric's going to Elk Trickery the 1/1 Mayor of Avabrook. Mayor of Avabrook, really solid card. I like it a lot, especially when it starts flipping. It is insanely powerful for just 2 mana, but it is a little bit squishy on its human side. So Stanley's at 18 life. He's going to think a little bit and tap 3 mana and main phase out Wolfare Avenger. And doesn't like to flash his creatures up, just likes to main phase his instant spells, all that good stuff. But it doesn't matter. His Avenger is going to get Brimstone Volleyed, and Eric's going to slam in for 4. So he's going to pay 3 mana, throw out a Borderland Ranger, search up a land. I put Borderland Ranger in the deck because it's a really good chump blocker. Could stand up and maybe kill something once in a while, swing in for 2 once in a while, and it gets you that extra land. So that is really, really good. Especially if you miss the land drop, it's basically just entering the battlefield and giving you a land that enters the battlefield as well. So he's going to throw down Wreath of Geist. At the time I didn't have any Rancor. Rancor would have been a much better option, but I have Wreath of Geist on it, on the deck list, because right now I have 4 Rancor, but back then I couldn't put any Rancor in his deck. But right now he does have a 5/5 Borderland Ranger, which is really something. So he's going to block one of the 2/2 one of the 1/1 goblins, and he's going to take the other one. And then Eric is going to Mizzium Mortars and remove the Borderland Ranger from the board. So if you haven't already, please check out my sponsor, White Lion Games. Really awesome store. Right now, Eric Faithless Looting, and he will pass the turn to my little brother. Stanley is in the 6th grade, and it's surprising how well he comprehends the game, because I remember I took much longer than him when I first started playing Magic. I just couldn't understand some of the rules, and I was a little bit older than him when I first started. And he's already in competitive Magic tournaments from this tournament, so that's really cool. It took me a while from the point I started Magic to get into Standard tournaments. So Eric's going to swing in for 3, and Stanley will now utilize the flash mechanic on his creatures, block the Goblin Electromancer, and take 1 from the Goblin. Really good play from Stanley. Basically, I made Stanley's deck as easy as I could to understand. He just has a bunch of creatures in there that are green, and then he has Prey Upon and Wreath of Geists, and those are pretty much the only non-creature cards in his deck. So meanwhile, Eric's thinking. He might have flashed back to Faithless Looting. Yeah. He does discard Past in Flames. He's going to swing in for 3. Stanley's going to point out that Goblin Electromancer does have Summoning Sickness, so he can't attack. Nice catch by Stanley. Stanley's going to throw down Young Wolf. And he's going to think about what he's going to do. He's actually just going to leave both of his creatures back. So, as I was saying, please check out my sponsors if you haven't already. White Line Games is super, super awesome. Really great prices, really good layout. Just something to check out if you're thinking about buying some Magic product. And they're really cool for supporting the YouTube Magic community. So Stanley's going to pay 5, tap out, and play Vorapede. I did put in 2 Vorapeds in the deck because that's all I have, and they're just a really, really good card. So Stanley's going to swing in. And Eric's going to look through his graveyard. If he can activate Past in Flames, he could go off, start playing Battle Hymns for more mana, then Thatcher's Revolts, and then eventually burn at the stake Stanley out, if he does have the cards appropriate. But no, he's going to let Stanley untap. Stanley's going to draw. Stanley has a nice control of the board right now. Eric pretty much has nothing. Stanley's going to pay 5 and play Wolfear Silverheart and bond the Vorapede to the Silverheart, so the Vorapede's a massive, massive 9/8, I believe. And he's going to swing in with the Young Wolf as well. And Eric's going to play Blister Squill, and he's going to tap all of Stanley's creatures out with the overload cost. So Blister Squall, or Squill, not sure how you pronounce it, is a really good card. Hasn't seen any standard play at all, but could actually be something. You could just tap out all your opponent's creatures, then swing in for lethal, because then they have no blockers. So maybe an underrated card, not quite sure. So Eric's going to Pass in Flames here. He's going to exile it, look through his graveyard, play Thatcher's Revolt for 2 because of the Goblin Electromancer. They're the human tokens that are really upside down magic cards. He's going to play Battle Hymn, add a bunch of mana to his mana pool, a solid 5. So he is going to go off here. Let's see if he can pull the right cards and kill a Stanley, because Stanley's completely tapped out right now. So he actually played Thatcher's Revolt from his hand and then flashed it back. So now he has 6 human tokens with haste. He's going to play Kranko's Command, put even more creatures onto his battlefield. He's going to play Battle Hymn again from his graveyard. It's very cheap because of the Electromancer. He has a bunch of mana floating around from the Battle Hymns. And he is going to think. I do commend Eric for playing Standard Storm, because it is a really awesome deck to watch. And you don't really see the win coming because you're not used to seeing a Storm deck in Standard. At least this Standard. So he will play Brimstone Volley, kill the Briarpack Alpha, and Eric is thinking. So Eric actually could have won back there, but instead he decides to move into his attack step, lose all of his mana, and attack for 11, I believe. So that leaves Stanley at 1 or 3. Oh yeah, Eric left his goblin tokens back. Okay. So if Eric flashed back the Brimstone Volley to kill Stanley rather than the Barpack Alpha, he could have just swung in and killed him, but he misplayed, unfortunately, because the Storm deck is kind of difficult to master. So he's going to take advantage of this by maybe swinging in with stuff. Yeah, he's going to swing in with both of his creatures. The Vorpede is really, really big, has trample, and could be a nice blocker. Eric has very much difficulty dealing with the Vorpede because he doesn't have a lot of things that can exile. All he has is Pillar of Flames, good against Young Wolf, very bad against a 9/8 Vorpede, and Eric will scoop up his cards, and leaving Stanley to win. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. This is just something fun that I like to do once in a while. And check out my sponsors if you can. And if you want to buy Magic cards, just look at the YouTube channels that are sponsored by Magic companies and try to choose those companies because they really sponsor and help support what we're trying to do here, what we're representing. Basically just the entire Magic YouTube community and how much it's grown since I first came here. So if you don't like any of my sponsors, check out other channel sponsors and order from them. But my sponsor for this video is Wetline Games, so look at their website, see what you like, and if you could buy something, I would greatly appreciate that. Also look at my contest videos. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.
That's game. Huge list. Jeez.
What happened?